today with another layout process and video for Wild Whisper. So this will be the last video that I will have for you using the Sweater Weather collection and mixing it with the Home for the Holidays collection. And my next video will be after I've gotten all my brand new goodies from the Wild Whisper girls. So that's going to be exciting and super fun. So I'm just showing you here what my plans are for this layout. I have a whole bunch of die cuts. I want to back it with some paper, and then I'm going to fussy cut out this doily. And I did that all off camera just to make it easier because, you know, who wants to watch me cut and glue and back die cuts? It's a little boring, and it's not something a lot of people do. So I backed these two clusters of flowers. These are a Paige Evans cut file from the Silhouette Design Store, and so are these leaves. I'm going to leave the leaves white, but the flowers, I'm going to add a little bit of something to them, a little bit of color. So there's a lot of gray in this collection. There's gray in a lot of the patterns that I'm going to be using. So I start by thinking that I was going to use this light gray Whisper ink from Close to My Heart. And so I'm just going to stamp all around both of these flowers. And I'm using the Home Sweet Home collection, the stamp that comes with that collection. So I'm looking at these flowers and I feel like they need something else. Not sure what, but they need something else. So I set those aside and I'm kind of just going to think about them for a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and add that fussy cut doily, and I'm going to back my photos with some of the papers from the Sweater Weather collection. So this is a photograph from a wedding. This wedding was of one of my very best friends. Her son got married, and they had a wedding in September, and they had a very fall-themed wedding. So all of the colors that were in the bride's bouquet happened to also be in this gorgeous collection from the Sweater Weather collection. And so I decided that if I added that fussy cut piece of doily, then I would have that elegant kind of wedding look to go with my photo, and then I could use all the colors. And she had some really interesting flowers in her bouquet that really kind of reminded me of feathers, so that was why I chose the feathers. So I'm going to get an idea of where I want all these to go, but I'm still feeling like I want to jazz up those flowers and the cut files and all of that. And what I'm going to decide to do is I'm going to take all of these cut files, I'm going to put them on just a sheet of white paper to try and keep the mess off of my desk. And I'm going to spray them with Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine. So I have 2 bottles of Color Shine. One, the pump works. One, the pump doesn't work. So yeah, you'll see me here trying to just figure out, okay, which is the pump that works, which is the pump that doesn't work. And so I end up just spraying all of these die cuts and giving them a gold sheen. I'm going to blot it off just a little bit because I don't want it to be really, really gold. I just want it to have a little bit of gold. So I'm just going to blot them off and then continue on with my layout. So now I'm going to go ahead and start assembling my layout here. I've pulled this dark purple journaling strip from off of that leaf paper, and I'm going to use it to kind of anchor that side of my page. And then I have these 2 3x4 cards, and I've decided I'm going to place the date that the wedding was up at the top, and then I'm going to create kind of like a diagonal design across the middle of the page. So we're going to have some of the flowers and the leaves up there by what will be the date, and then some of the flowers and leaves down in the lower right. So I'm just trying to decide how I want this all to go. And I'm one of these people that stuff starts to, like, I want to lay it all out and then glue it all down, but it moves too much and it bugs me. So then I just start sticking and plunking, which is what you're going to see here in about a minute, because I'm going to get kind of like done with all that. I'm going to trim this card off. This card says Remember, and it is the exact color of the groom's suit. So I thought, oh, we need to use that. So I'm going to place that right over there to the right. And I thought that the Remember was a nice, just a nice sentiment to use. And then I'm going to tuck the rest of these feathers in. So I had that fussy cut piece of, from one of the other cards right there. And I thought about kind of putting it in, but wherever I put it, it didn't really seem to, it just kind of didn't seem to go. So I end up not, in the end I ended up pulling it off and not using it. So I went ahead and got into my stash, and I was looking for a nice lettering that I could use, and I found these thickers. I believe they are from Amy Tangerine's Hustle and Heart collection. I received them in one of my wild hair kits, and so it was just kind of hanging out in my stash, and I love how the word love is written, and I love the gold. But I don't like the banner, so I'm just snipping off all the different pieces and parts of the banner because I just want the wording. I don't want the that banner piece that's around it. So now we're going to kind of have the great thicker debate. So I could not find in my stash thickers that were the same gold as the love, which is really kind of odd. But I really wanted to use that love, so I decided that these Fitzgerald thickers were the closest I had, and that maybe if I just kept them separate, you wouldn't notice too much, maybe, kind of. So that was kind of what I went with, because I did not have a single gold glitter, anything that matched the gold of that thicker word love. But I also didn't have any navy blue thickers. I also didn't have any like nice bright white thickers. I don't know, which is so weird because I've got tons of thickers, but for some reason there's just nothing that went here. So I'm going to fidget with these thickers, and the whole time I'm putting them down, I'm not loving the fact that it doesn't match the gold love, but I also know that of my entire stash that I went through, this is about the best I'm going to get. So I'm determined to just kind of make it work. And I always remember what Chamel always says, if you're gonna, like when she mixes creams and whites, she says, if you're gonna mix creams and whites, do it all over the place so it looks intentional. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm mixing these kind of two different gold types of gold thickers. One's a little like more washed out, and one's a little more bright gold. And I'm gonna make them work because I'm going to add some other pops of both of the different golds so that it looks intentional and not like a mistake. And I hope that in the end you think I did a good job with it. So I'm just going ahead and I'm adding my flower pieces and my leaves, and I want to make sure you can read that says remember. And I'm just gluing all these little bits down. So I'm going to add some of these white foam hearts and some of the some more gold, and then I'm going to add my little love, and I don't mind, for me, that it covers up the little bitty bottom of her dress. I think it actually is like kind of perfect like that. And after I had this layout all done, I actually sent it to the bride, and she said, I love it. So now I'm going through my sequins. And I pulled out Lisa's Starry Night. I actually pulled out two to kind of like decide which one I wanted. But the ones I decided on were Lisa's Starry Night. And what I was doing here was I'm trying to match, okay, the groom's suit is navy. That, remember, is the same navy to match the groom's suit. So I thought that I found sequins that were the same, like, lovely navy color, and that way we have all the colors from the bride's bouquet and the navy from the groom's suit, and you get a real sense of the colors from this wedding and everything like that, which I thought was just lovely and perfect. This isn't, I have a lot of pictures from this wedding, and so we'll see how many layouts I end up doing. I believe what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up with full 12 by 12 layouts, which is going to have the photographer's photos that I got. And then I'm going to have another pocket page that has the kind of just snapshots that I took at the wedding and the reception. So yeah, that's my plan. But this definitely deserves like a nice place in my album, because if you were to go through all of these, are very, very close friends of mine. If you were to go through the albums, you would see photos of the groom and his sister and his family, and the bride's family as well is definitely in my album at different places. So because they've both been good friends of mine for as long as I have been around. The groom in that photo was 2 years old and dancing at my wedding, which just shocks me. Oh my goodness. Every time I think of it, I'm like, really? But yeah. So these are definitely very close friends who are very prominent in my albums. So their wedding definitely deserves at least a couple pages. And what's really funny about that is this coming 2017, 2018, so September, December, and January, I have 3 weddings that were like that were kids I grew up with, or, kids I watched grow up and everything. So you're probably going to see a couple wedding photos popping around in my videos over the next few months. So I am just, I left more of my placing of sequins in this video than I usually do. So I hope you enjoyed that. So that's going to end this video. I'm just going to put a little bit of Distress ink around the edges. I have all of my sequins down. Everything's kind of trimmed up. I put a little bit of some pop dots here and there, just, like I always do, where things kind of naturally were wanting to pop up. That's where I popped them up. And that's it for today. I think I'm going to pick it up to show you how glittery it is. I hope you will swing by Wow Whisper and check out all the goodies they have in their shop, because they have beautiful, beautiful products. Have a wonderful day. Bye.